I'm so glad you're listening, you're watching. Of course, I want you to subscribe. Why wouldn't you? Because we meet amazing people and there's great content here. It's pithy, concise, helpful. And of course, we have our amazing jokes at the end, which you're like, ooh, that's a little shady. But today I want to introduce to you a friend that I just met, Penny Maxwell. Thanks for hanging out, Penny.
Glad to be here.
Totally glad. Penny, where are you from? Give us a little background, and because not everybody knows who you are.
Yeah, so I'm from Charlotte, North Carolina. My husband and I are pastors of a multi-site church there called Freedom House, and just loving it. God moved us there over 20 years ago to plant Freedom House, but both of us grew up in Richmond, Virginia.
Nice. I like Richmond. And you have some kids?
Yes, I have 3 kids. Here's the crazy thing. I'm an empty nester now.
What?
An empty nester. I am an empty nester.
Seriously?
Yes. So my oldest 2 are married. My youngest, she's not married yet, but it's looking like it could go that way. So now here's the deal. First kid, when he left, I cried. Second kid, I cried. It was my first daughter to go away. Third kid, I cried happy tears. Whole different ball game now.
You're like, good riddance? How did that happen? Oh my goodness.
Ball game.
Serious.
So empty nesters, and we're kind of loving it. Yeah.
It's a little more relaxed.
It's a lot more relaxed. If this was a marriage segment, I'd have to tell you, because have you ever seen the movie where Terry Bradshaw, who's like, everything's my naked room now that the kids had left the house.
No.
My husband jokes around. He's like, everything's my naked room now. I can just relax, do nothing.
Oh my gosh.
He even preached that in a message recently.
But not naked.
No, not naked. No. And it's not really his
That'd be
naked
over
room.
the top, I think, maybe, possibly.
No.
So Richmond, Virginia, what was that like? I mean, did you enjoy living in Richmond?
I liked Richmond, but I was glad when I left because there were so many things there, just the history, the way that I grew up, the childhood trauma, all those different things. So it was when we crossed over the state line into North Carolina, it was kind of like closing the door and saying goodbye. So for that, I'm glad we don't go back really ever. So as far as our family knows, our kids, they were all born in Richmond, but they've grown up in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So we're definitely Tar Heel / Duke, depending on who we're talking to. It's such a big rivalry there.
It is a big rivalry.
Yeah.
Total rivalry.
But my husband still kind of secretly cheers for UVA and,
well, Tony Bennett.
It's
kind of easy on the eyes.
Yeah.
Right? He's totally easy on the eyes. That's the basketball coach for UVA, University of Virginia. But your family also skis.
Yes, the rest of the family does. Now, I've released 2 cookbooks, and so I am usually cooking while they are skiing. So I am not one to be really cold.
Not your vibe.
Not my vibe, no. But I'll make sure they have the comfort food because living in the South, we got to have comfort food.
Yeah. And what do you like to cook? What are some of your go-tos?
Oh my goodness. Well, casseroles are a big thing if you're a Southerner. Do you guys do casseroles out here? Or is that you do?
Yeah, some.
Okay.
But not like tuna noodle casserole. Tuna surprise, that's a hard pass.
Yeah, tuna surprise is kind of surprising if you've
Ugh.
ever had. Yeah.
Yeah.
So we don't do that, but definitely mac and cheese, definitely like chicken. It's called chicken divan, which You know chicken divan.
I totally know chicken divan.
Okay.
Broccoli, chicken.
Yes.
What else do you put in yours?
In mine, I put in cream of chicken soup and mayonnaise and a little curry powder, little lemon juice, water chestnuts. Yeah.
And then sprinkle it with something crunchy.
Yes, with the Pepperidge Farm stuffing.
Oh, that's nice.
Cover, and then if you're from the South, everything has butter.
Yes.
So then you cover the top of that with butter and you bake it.
Yep.
Phenomenal.
Yep.
Yep.
Oh,
so it's
fun.
in my cookbook. Yep.
So here's something I tried last night. This is a recipe, right? I just created it. Like I like to create. So I did pears.
Okay.
and I sliced pear. I cut them in half, took out the little pit part.
Uh-huh.
Then I put them in the oven to cook for a little bit. While they were cooking, I made like a sauce. So I did butter, maple syrup, and vanilla. And to that, I added a little bit of cloves, some cinnamon, fresh nutmeg. I added a little pinch of salt and a touch of cayenne. Mixed that all together. And then I took the pears out, put them under the broiler so they got crisp. Put that sauce on them.
Yeah, because the sugar makes it all crispy. Okay.
Exactly. And then while that was doing, I toasted walnuts, chopped up walnuts,
Okay.
and took them out and then put that on the top of that. So that was kind of dessert last night. What do you think?
I think it's good. The only thing I probably would have added in there was something creamy.
Yep.
Did we have any sort of a cheese?
No, that's what I thought, like a goat cheese or a creme fraiche.
That's exactly. And even to put maybe pine nuts and a drizzle of honey over that.
See?
Yeah. I'm picking up what you're putting down. I'm getting it.
And salads? Do you like to make salads?
I do. My husband,
Yeah.
this is a funny thing. Whenever we go to restaurants, because my husband is like Mr. CrossFit, really healthy, watches what he eats, all of that.
Yep.
And we'll go to a restaurant and I will order a steak, baked potato, all of that. And he'll order a salad with a piece of salmon. And always, 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 they will bring it out. They will put the salmon down in front of me and the steak in front of him. And I'm like, flip it. Flip it. I'm the steak girl.
Yeah.
I'm the potatoes girl.
Yep.
He's Mr. And here's the thing. People always, when they meet us, they always look at him and go, "Oh, where do you work out?" Because he's just kind of chiseled like that.
Yep.
Nobody ever asks me that. I've never been asked. So where do you work out?
So, Penny, where do you work out?
It's the hand-mouth thing.
Oh, nice. I like it.
This is how I get my exercise, or putting stuff in the oven, out, and that's my exercise.
That's totally great. So hobbies, one of them is cooking.
Yes,
that's a hobby.
Yes.
What else would you
So I love doing interior design. So I've done all of our campuses, so that I'm pretty much cheap labor for them. And then I love decorating homes, and I'll do other churches for friends.
Yeah.
And then just in my mind, wherever I go, I'm always decorating everything.
Yeah.
So I've decorated your building 4 times. That's just how I do.
That's fantastic.
Like I walk in and I'm like, oh, if we had a this here and a this here, and I just do that. So I do it for friends. I do it as a little, I call it my purse fund. My little side
gig?
my side hustle.
Yeah.
But recently it was my dog needed surgery fund.
Oh. Yeah. What kind of dog?
He's a peekapoo. He's
not one of those like little Shih Tzus, right?
He looks like that, but he's called a peekapoo, and his name is Snickers. We've had him for 13 years.
Oh.
So he is the naughtiest. Thank goodness I raised my children better than that dog, because that dog runs the show. And he has me wrapped. So I didn't raise him as good as I raised my kids, but
better to do the kids.
Yeah, that's what I figured.
Lasting.
That's what I figured. And he's still with me, and they're all grown up.
Yeah,
so
that's cool.
Yeah.
So this is a left field question.
Yes,
but it's got a little bit of some gravity, some potential to it. So, do you hang out with your mom at all?
Nope.
Is she still alive?
She's still alive.
Yep.
Yeah.
The reason I'm asking that is because in your book you talk about your mom setting broken bones and some challenges there, and so interesting because I think moms are kind of sometimes like the holy grail, and we're like put our moms in these like really infallible categories. I'm like, but not every mom is infallible. In fact, every mom is fallible. We all have made mistakes.
Absolutely.
And sometimes our kids remind us of those mistakes.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just best to have some space and distance.
Yeah, and I think, particularly with what my mom has, it's basically I suffered narcissistic abuse my entire childhood. And unfortunately, I say it like this. If you had $1 million and I asked you to invest it with me, but there's a 98% chance that I was going to lose everything,
Right.
you're not going to put your money in that account
No.
just because the portfolio history doesn't produce well.
Mm-hmm.
And I think we have to understand that relationally.
Mm-hmm.
And we have to understand sometimes, especially those of us who would say, I'm a Christian,
Mm-hmm.
surely this should work. Surely
Right.
if we try enough, if hard enough.
Right.
But understanding that protecting your heart and your peace,
Mm-hmm.
and God is not expecting us to put ourselves in situations where people don't want to change, where there's constantly gaslighting that's happening, where things are always chaotic and disruptive. And it was actually detracting from my ability to be able to serve God in the capacity that I should, because I was always in recovery mode. Every time there would be an interaction, I would have to take 3 days and recover from it. And it was very, very toxic. And so at some point, understanding that by continually submitting myself to toxic environments is not loving and honoring God. It's quite the opposite. It's detracting from the call that is on my life. And I made this agreement. I said, if you can get in consistent counseling and I can have a conversation with your counselor that says that you are improving, you are getting better, that things are, looking up at any point in time, I will have that conversation. But unfortunately, narcissists don't want to get in counseling. They don't want to stay in counseling because they're better than the counselor. They know more than the counselor. Who could ever tell them anything? So I knew that me putting those boundaries in place were going to draw some serious lines. And it did. And, we've had to do that in other scenarios with alcoholism that's been in our family, and say, hey, if you're going to live this way, we aren't, there's a difference between like, hey, I forgive you for what you've done. That's forgiveness, deals with the past. Trust deals with the future.
Yeah.
So I can forgive you for what you've done, but I don't trust you moving forward.
Your pattern, your history, your behavior, till I see some changes. Yeah, exactly. Doesn't mean I don't forgive. I've released, but yeah, that's totally good. Totally good. Thank you so much for subscribing, watching today, listening. Hit the notification bell right there. It'd be super helpful to get you posted when we put up new content. Here's a question for you. What is your favorite thing to eat? Your favorite go-to food. What is that for you? And of course, we're going to finish with an amazing joke. So why do all hot dogs look the same? All hot dogs look the same because they are inbred. So stupid. But next week will be a lot better. Thanks so much.